Welcome on and all to the Math Magic Show. In this one, I'm going to take a look at the magic we get from multiplying a complex number by another complex number and the resulting geometric operations. They're pretty interesting, so let's get going, okay? Take a look at the following. I'm going to have the following. Z is equal to x plus and then yi right here, okay? So z equals x plus yi right here. Now, we want to understand what happens, for example, at first when we form a quantity that looks like the following. Say I times z. So let's work it for a specific example, okay, first. So take a look. Imagine that z is specifically this number that I made up, 1 plus 2i, right here. So now, let's see what happens when you multiply by I. So I'm going to have the following, I times 1 plus 2i, like this. So this is I times 1 plus 2i. Of course, what you can do is you can distribute this over and over this way. So that's going to give you I, and then plus 2i squared. Now I squared, hopefully you know, is negative 1. So you're going to have I and then minus 2. If you like, you can transpose these two terms and you're going to have negative 2 plus 1i. Now we want to try to find a relationship between this number and the original number where it says z equals 1 plus 2i. So the relationship is here if you look at it. Perhaps you can pause the video and think about it on your own. But take a look, right? This is 2, but this is negative 2. This is 1 here. Okay, let me thicken, darken that a little bit. Okay, this is 1. And now this is positive 1 here. So it looks as though whatever was here has now been put in this position, and whatever was here has now become the coefficient on the I, you see? Alright, now take a look at the next stage. Try it in a more general fashion, now that we've done one specific concrete example. So take I, and don't multiply by a specific number like 1 plus 2i, but instead just multiply by x plus yi, okay, a generic kind of complex number. So go through the process the same way though. So you're going to distribute this. You're going to have ix right here, plus, and then you're going to have I times yi, so that's going to give you here yi squared. Now look at it, it's going to give you ix minus, so this is an I here, ix minus, because I squared is negative 1, so minus y this way. In other words, you just end up with negative, let's see, y plus ix. So this is what we've been able to get thus far, okay? Let me get my stick here. Look, original number, x plus yi. The new number says negative y plus ix, or xy, whatever, it makes no difference, okay? I'll get stuck in little things like that. So whatever was the y coefficient here now becomes the real part of it, right? And whatever was x, the real part of the original, now becomes the coefficient on the I part, you see? That's the big idea thus far. Okay, behave. So now take a look. Let's visualize this a little bit. So on the side here, I'm going to make a graph. Okay, I have to be careful about how I make the graph because all of this stuff has to fit on my notes and everything. So take a look. It looks like this. Okay, and then I'm going to put this way. So represent the first number. Let's go here with representing, say, this one, okay? That says 1 plus 2i. Let's make a picture of it over here, okay? So 1 plus 2i, this is, say, 1, and then 2i would be 2 of these, so that's 1, okay, and then 2 would be about here. And then perhaps you know that a complex number is representable as a kind of arrow, essentially, like a vector, right, in a plane. So let's see here, so be very careful. Like that, and then like this, okay? So remember, this is the imaginary axis that we can nevertheless see, and this is the real axis right here. So this is then the number 1 plus 2i right here, okay? So now, let's make a picture of the image after we multiply by I to see geometrically what happens. So that new number is negative 2 plus 1i. So if this is 1, the space between my fingers is 1 unit, right? So then this is 2 units. Well, this is 1 unit for now, and this is 2 units this way, okay? And this is 1 unit, so it looks like it's about here now. So 2 units to the left, and then 1 unit up along the imaginary axis. So it's going to give you this number right here. This would be then the following. Let me write it down. If you like, you can represent it this way. Some people use arrows. Some people use segments like this. What also emerges here, perhaps, is the following. That right here, this is a 90-degree angle. You see what happens? Okay. Now, take a look. So this is the number negative 2 plus I again, we got this number. How did we get this, right? We took negative 2 plus I, and we got that from doing I times the original 1 plus 2I, correct? So 1 plus 2I multiplied by I becomes negative 2 plus I, becomes this number, which is really 90 degrees relative to 1 plus 2I. Okay. So the next stage in the process then, take a look at what happens when you do this, okay? Another example was, imagine you have not just I, but 2I multiplying this 1 plus 2I. Let me make this thicker. 1 plus 2I this way, okay? You want to understand what happens in this case. So if you like, you can do this in stages. What I mean is you can say 2, and for now just separate off the multiplication by the I like this. So it becomes 1 plus 2I this way. You can do it in stages this way. That's allowed. Because then each part of the multiplication process actually has a specific geometric effect, and then we can disentangle the sequence, right, of effects. So let's take a look. Go through it. So again, distribute the I here and here. We know what this is because we've done it up here. Let's just do it. So it's 2 times, and then it's going to be an I. Let's see, plus 2I squared. Okay, go through it. So it's going to be 2, and then I minus, well, let's see, I minus 2 here. Right, then transpose the terms within the brackets. So it looks like 2 multiplying negative 2 plus I right here. Now, if you think about this, right? We have to understand, what is it we have to understand? Now we have to try to decipher the meaning of like this 2. You see this 2 here? Right? And then it's here, and then it's here, and then it's here, and then it's here. What does the 2 do to everything that's going on here? Okay, that's the question. So take a look. This part right here, negative 2 plus 1I. We already have that. That's here. It's this part right here. See, it's this. It's present. So the only thing present here that's new is this positive 2, correct? The triple blue underline. So that takes the number, and all it will do to it is stretch it by a factor to make it twice as long. So if you have trouble seeing that already here, just think of it this way, right? Take the 2 and you distribute it. So it becomes negative 4 plus 2I. You see this? So now, since this was negative 2, negative 1 here, this is negative 2, and this was here I basically, right? So it becomes negative 2 plus 1I is 2 to the left and 1 up, so negative 2 plus I. With this new form, negative 4 plus 2I, so you would go, let's see, 2 more to the left, about here, and then 2I now, so instead of 1I, you would have up here 2 I's. So maybe we'll kind of put you up here. You see this? In other words, the number now, okay, and now we see, unfortunately, the issues with placing the labels correctly in graphs. That's not always so easy, right? It kind of looks like this, you see? Like that. Let me maybe erase a little bit around these, like this. So now this number right here, this number right here, let me write down all the steps that were required to generate it. Okay, that number was the following. It was, let's see, it was 2I times, let's see, 1 plus 2I, like this, okay? It was that, which is equivalent to doing 2 times negative 2 plus I, which is lastly equivalent, right, I'll write that down to here, to doing negative 4 plus 2I right here, okay? So that's what this is, lastly, this number right here. Remember, this label here, these labels here, they refer to like this number right here, okay? This one. And all of this stuff now, right, that refers to generating this number right here. So they're different numbers, just keep that in mind. So what I would like you to do now on your own, again, is learn to take greater ownership of the math that you do, okay? So what I want you to do is just pause the video and then make up some examples of your own and put your comments down below and work through the processes involved in generating the answers, you see? It's always a worthwhile effort, and then try to maybe draw some pictures along the way, try to discover some of the underlying geometry of what's happening when you manipulate all these symbols that seemingly can be so abstract, but the nice thing is with complex numbers especially, you can visualize them, okay? And you can see the whole process occur. So, having said that, let me show you a couple. Take a look. On your own, you really should try something like this. So try, for example, like 1/2 I. Okay, try 1/2 I times 1 plus 2I. Try that, right? Like, what does this equal? try negative, let's see, 1/3 times I, and then multiplying, say, 1 plus 2I also, okay? And do them very thoughtfully. So what do I mean by thoughtful practice? What I mean is work the first example and try to understand the entire process from the first to the last stage, right? Work the second example, try to understand the entire process from the first to the last stage. And you see how I took 1 plus 2I, I drew it over here. Let me run my pointing stick. So this is 1 plus 2I, then I visualized negative 2 plus I as this one. Then visualized negative, 2I times 1 plus 2I as this bigger number right here. So what you should do is you should first make a picture of 1 plus 2I, and then visualize multiplying by I, and then visualize the next stage in the process, multiplying by 1/2. Same thing with the other one. Visualize 1 plus 2I, multiply by I, visualize that process, okay? That part, if you think about it, these parts right here, right, like this part, and then this part, those I pretty much have shown you how to do anyway, because in both of those cases, right, I showed you how to do I times 1 plus 2I right here, see? So you know it's going to be this, negative 2 plus 1I. So then really what you should be focusing on, when you do these is, what does this do right here, right? The negative 1/3, and what does the 1/2 do to the result? In other words, what does the 1/2, the negative 1/3 do to negative 2 plus 1I? These numbers here have specific geometric effects. Try to discover them, okay? Leave some comments down below. And that's it for me. So thank you so much for watching. I hope all of this is helpful to you. Please leave a like, please subscribe, share this, and I'll see you in another video.